little cutesy nerd.
Okay, hello everybody. It's US student SD.
It's kind of weird to do the intro in English. So anyways, I'm sitting down here at the corner of my room, which means we're gonna do another sit-down video. Yay! Today's video is going to be about what do American kids learn in English class? What do they learn? Let's get into the video. Let's go. You're gonna go right here. Okay, you can be here. Firstly, we didn't have textbooks. Instead, they had a lot of worksheets. They would pile up every day. So this is what I totally got after the year, which is very thick. Okay, so first things first. The two most important things that we did every single day, except for special occasions, was, can you guess? It was reading and writing. Boom, that makes English. So we would start our class every day with reading and writing, and we did each of them for 8 minutes. What I want to show you is, ta-da! We are twinning. Actually, this is me, so this is not my twin, this is me. See the similarities? This was writer's notebook, as our teacher said, that we wrote our stories in every day. And if I show you a glimpse of it, I'm very bad at skipping pages. And I loved this quick writing time. We called it a quick write time. I enjoyed it very much because all of the topics were a bit different every day, but we got to put all our imagination into it to make it a fun story, an interesting story. So some days we would do picture response, which is our teacher putting up an interesting picture on her screen so everybody could see it. You're like staring at the picture. What is that picture talking about? And then when you get that idea, you're like, I think this kind of a situation is happening in this picture right now. And then I can write that for the 8 minutes. Other things would be poem responses. On Fridays, we did free write Fridays and trigger words. You get the idea, right? And for the 8-minute reading part, we called it dibs. And then at one point we changed the name, but I don't really remember. We could just read any book we wanted. They even let us read comic books. This one kid would read Dragon Ball Z every single day, which wouldn't be allowed in Korean school, but whatever, it is a book. For me, I always wanted to try out Harry Potter, but I really didn't have the time. So I started to read Harry Potter in my English class every day, little by little, and it turns out that it's actually fun. Like, I'm usually a historical fiction or a non-fiction reader, but Harry Potter, even if it was fantasy, even if Harry Potter was fantasy, it was really fun. So I think those 8 minutes of class reading helps you a lot. Like, it helps you try out new things. And like, who knew I would love Harry Potter? I read till chapter 4 in 8th grade and 3 other books. I have proof. Those are the 2 most important things. We had units. Even though we did not have textbooks, we still had units, but they weren't like educational units. I mean, we learned something, but the units wouldn't be something like be verb learning unit and then adjective unit, poem unit. It would be something more fun, like Halloween unit in October, and then a Holocaust unit, a Shakespeare book Much Ado About Nothing unit. Like, I loved those units. Most of the times when you read books in the class, it was like individual reading, like the Harry Potter one I just talked about. But in the Holocaust unit, since it's a very serious topic that everybody really has to know to in order to prevent it from happening ever again, we read this memoir. A memoir is like a book, not quite a diary, but it's like the author's real life experience book, if that makes sense. So the system was like, the teacher read it out loud for us, and on the way on the important parts, we would annotate it all together. Annotation, when I first came to America, I had no idea what annotation was, but annotating is quite simple. It's just like you're reading a book or a piece of literature, and as you read it along, you like mark the important parts, highlight, write in the margin. Margin are the empty spaces here. And like circle the new characters. All those stuff are called annotations. And then after us finishing this book, we had a project sort of making this, which was called an writer's companion. He wrote anaphora, poems, and another drawing related to the book. Whoa, I remember doing this project that night. Like, I think I finished this in 1 or 2 days, and like, that's a lot of writing. Like, that's
a lot of writing.
You can see my handwriting getting crappier in the end. By the way, this is me covering up my mistakes. So, back to my point, we sometimes, probably at the end of the units, we had fun projects. This is another project I did in the Much Ado About Nothing unit. Much Ado About Nothing is a very fun book. I definitely recommend you reading it or watching the movie. It's by Shakespeare. All Shakespeare things are good. And basically, how you do the projects are, you get a type of like instructions. This is the instructions I got for this thing. So yeah, they really make fun projects, so you really don't have to stress about it. Let's talk about grades. Our teacher graded this, and she tells us to draw a little star next to the 3, or I think it is 3, the specific amount of writings we think are the best out of all. And then she graded on these papers. I got a 95. Got 100. It sounds scary for people who are exchange students or international students or ESL students, English as a second language. Like it seems scary. The title, English class in America, with these classmates who are probably geniuses in English. Like it's their first language, come on. But I want to tell you, don't be afraid. It's not as bad as you think. It actually turned out to be my favorite class in my first year of American school. In Korea, you totally focus on grammar. If like you really focus on grammar, that Americans probably would never learn this much amount of grammar. Guys, it turns out not even Americans follow all those rules of grammar. There's tons of kids who spell the I, capital I in a lowercase I, or they don't use commas in the right places. So just chill, don't be afraid. Everybody makes mistakes, even natural English speakers, and this video definitely has to come to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some confidence and tips in this video, and I believe in you. You're gonna do awesome in that new country. So, I hope this was a fun video. Right, Esty? Look at Esty the intelligent. If you have any questions about school life or anything about America, just leave it in the comments or DM me. And so that's it for today. Bye bye.